Wait, yeah, I like that. I just like the opening now.
It's such a
I
cute.
really do. Thank you to our good friend Kevin Gillette over at NSC Live TV for helping and gifting us with that opening credit sequence because I just love it. It's kind of fun. And I look so much better animated than in real life. I'm just saying, there, a lot of you out there that are watching the show right now are wishing that the animated guy was the guy talking to you instead of me, but he's not. So get over it already, because I'm what you're stuck with. So we're here, guys. We're the Hanging with Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. We're in the studio today for Virtual Media Day, and we are welcoming to our studio Robin Hoffman, podcaster, broadcaster extraordinaire. We have Bake With Me and Chat With Me. She does a lot of with me's.
A lot of with me.
It's always with her. She wants you to hang out with her. I'm hanging out with her. I'm hanging with Robin because she said, "Hang with me." See, with me. We could do that all day long.
We could.
And all of you have already done it so much that we know all of the jokes already. Look at her eyes. All of them.
Every single one.
Yes. All right. So, Robin, where did you start? Was it with Bake With Me? Was that where you started, or yes?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Bake With Me.
So, one day you're sitting around and you're like, I love to bake and I want to do this on the internet because that sounds like fun, and nobody will make fun of me because the internet is full of such nice people.
Sure. Well, let me go back and tell you the real story.
Okay, let's get it right. Okay.
I worked in the field with individuals with disabilities for 27 years, an amazing, wonderful career. And during that time, what I realized is that the issue wasn't really with the person with the disability, it was the people around them not understanding them. So it just became really important for me to give a voice to people with disabilities so that people could see what they look like, what they sound like, how capable they are. And I was like, how can I do this? Well, side by side, I was diagnosed with celiac disease, so I can't eat any gluten. Definitely not a joke in my world. It makes me very, very violently ill. So I created all these wonderful, great recipes over the years. And I was like, how can I get those out into the world and share those with people so they don't have to make the same mistakes I did, which was making gross food and spending a lot of money and wasting that money. So how can I get these recipes out there? So it just came to me one day. It did not sound right on paper. How about I have a baking show and I invite a guest with a disability? So while baking, they can talk about their diagnosis, they can talk about their challenges and their successes. So we just tried it and it worked. It's an amazing, beautiful experience for everyone.
That's awesome. You know what's really awesome about that is, guys, if you're out there and you're looking at the world and you see all these broadcasters coming at you with different shows and different ideas, that's one of the most honest answers I think anybody could ever give is, I wanted to do a handful of things. We tried it.
Yeah.
And it worked, because you don't know if it's going to work or not. And so much of the time, so many creative artists out there have an inkling to do, whether it's broadcasting, whether it's music or whatever, they have an inkling to do something, but it's what they don't know that they're afraid the most of. And so that idea is, will it work? Is somebody else already doing it better? Whatever. You just kind of dove in and it worked. You said you had worked with people with disabilities for a long time, and you really wanted to share, because I think you're right. I think so much of the time it is perception, the way we perceive a person with, and I think for every person, different disabilities affect them in different ways. When you see somebody,
Absolutely.
and when you're affected by that, now you're ineffective at building a bridge or building a friendship because you've been put on your heels by something or other. And everybody has felt this. I know that, guys. It doesn't make you evil people. Everybody responds differently to different things. But maybe you saw a person in a wheelchair. Maybe you saw a person with a certain disability. Your discomfort immediately shut you off, and now a friendship that you could form or a bond that you could form, you've closed off to.
Yes.
And it's so important that we start to see people. You're never, guys out there in the world, you're never going to not see things. You have eyes, unless you're blind, which is also you're not going to see things. But you're never going to not see things. You're going to see the wheelchair. You see the color of someone. You see the gender of someone. You see these things. You can't help yourself. I love what you're doing, because you're teaching people that you're seeing these things, but you do not have to build your entire response based on the singular visual moment in time. You don't have to build a whole relationship based on that.
Right.
And so what's the response been like? How are people responding? Are people starting, do you see that in your daily life? Are people starting to respond a little more positively and learn how to deal with their own preconceptions a little bit?
I think so for sure. And one of the best outcomes out of all of this isn't just the audience building, it's everything that's happened on set. We film the show at Full Sail University, so it's a great outlet for students to come on to a real set and see how it all works and be a part of that. And every single student that I've worked with at one time or another was just touched by what we do. They all said, anytime you film, I want to know, I want to come back. They all learned something, or one of them would approach me afterwards and say, oh, my mom has this condition. And then we would talk about that and bond for a while. Or somebody came up to me one time and said, I would never ask those questions, but now I might think about it. Now I might have this conversation with somebody because it's not so scary. I see that it's important to learn about them. But my favorite outcome so far was from our very first episode. I actually had my daughter on. She has a rare condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And a mom messaged me, and it gives me, I have goosebumps right now. A mom messaged me and said, my 13-year-old daughter has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. We sat on the couch together and we watched your episode, and she started crying and she hugged me and said, Mom, she's just like me. So she had never met anybody else that had her rare syndrome. And to see somebody on a show and she's up and she's baking and she's talking and she's having a good time, it was just so heartwarming for everybody. And I said, if I never hear anything from anybody else again, that was enough. That's
it. Yeah. Done. First episode. And you're all that amazing reward. Again, it's so important that we learn to, and I really, a lot of times I have to pinch myself about the world we live in, because I say, when I was younger, I thought we were doing the work. I thought we were putting in the time. I thought we were doing the work, and I thought we were there. Because my own bubble seems filled with all kinds of wonderful diversity, and people who stand or can't, see, hear or don't, left, right, center, brown, black, white, yellow, green. My own bubble is filled with that, and I thought the whole world was doing that. But we never stop doing the work. The work that you're doing is always going to be important, because the next generation has to be taught the same things. The next generation has to be taught after that, and the work is always going to be there. To see it reward you from episode 1.
Yes,
that's an amazing thing. Yes. Oh, how cool is that? Because that's something everybody wants to know. I need a link for that dropped, please, because July 2020's episode, gluten-free chicken and waffles.
Yes.
Because guys, I'm just saying, look, I don't, I am not, I have one dietary restriction, and that is I'm lactose intolerant.
Okay.
Which means that, for those of you that aren't familiar, that means that I can still enjoy ice cream. It's just there's a floor show afterwards. It's very amusing for everyone else, not terribly amusing for me. And so, but gluten allergies have come to the forefront of people's dietary habits these days. What inspires? Well, chicken and waffles. That's inspiring. Duh. I don't know, why would you ask that? Chicken and waffles. That's inspiring. But okay, so when you see an item out there or whatever that is typically or traditionally something that's kind of off limits, what inspires you to say, no, I can do that?
Oh, everything, anything.
Everything.
I feel so deprived sometimes. Like, I can't even eat out in restaurants because of the possibility of cross-contamination. It's just too risky for me unless the restaurant is 100% gluten-free, which is very, very rare.
Mm-hmm.
So I love, since I feel kind of deprived, I'm like, that's on me. I can make this. Let's try this. So the more successful you get and you just put it out there, it's just so much fun. And you get so many people who comment, and they're just so grateful because they also feel very deprived. So it's nice to know that I can do that little bit, because it was really bad for a long time. Because I was diagnosed 13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Not always with gluten-free options on the shelves. So I had to create my own, and things that were gluten-free back then, they literally either tasted like cardboard or like Play-Doh, and I did not like those options.
Okay. All right. So you know what? We're out here. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Everybody has heard it by now. Everybody's been to a restaurant. Everybody's been to somewhere. They have heard about gluten-free products, etc. But let's do more than just throw out the trendy terms. Let's tell people what it is. Why? What is a gluten allergy? What are the conditions that make you require a gluten-free diet? And how do people recognize those things?
So it's not actually an allergy. That's a common misconception. People say
Okay.
it's an allergy, which kind of makes you feel like, oh, if you have like an EpiPen or take Benadryl, it would help. This would not help you. It's actually a response in your intestines where your body says, oh no, this is not good. This is poison. This is foreign. Let's get it out. So people have different reactions and responses to gluten. I happen to have celiac disease. Some people have a gluten intolerance, which those symptoms can range also. But for celiac, it's fatigue, and it could be vomiting, all the beautiful, lovely stuff that happens to your body when you have food poisoning, cramping, pain, skin conditions, like all
So
crazy.
literally all of the things that we eat to avoid, you get when you eat the wrong thing.
That is correct. So
That's the universe's cruel joke. It's wonderful, and in the modern world we see this more and more because I grew up. I love ice cream. I love cereal. I love a lot of things that go with milk. And the universe's cruel irony is I can't have that. So this is it's interesting to develop a creature that is omnivorous and then take away things one at a time. See, there's the universe is a little bit screwy in there.
yeah.
Let me ask you, since you've started, because I want to remind everybody, not only does she have baking with me, but she also has chatting with me. So you want to check those out. We're going to drop links. We have links. We have links. We have links. You have links. Somebody has links. Drop links. Links are important. Most surprising no, she already did memorable, so we're going to skip that part. Yeah. Most surprising or unexpected thing to happen on set?
Let's see, which set? Most surprising thing. I don't know. Everything is just always so awesome. We always have such a good time. Let's see. I can't even think. Most surprising thing. I don't know. Help me out.
Okay. Well, I can help you out. Okay. So, example, I can help you out here a little bit. So, for me, well before we had the set, just like every other podcaster, every other modern broadcaster, before we had a set, before I had the chair, I was walking around sticking my mic in people's faces, guerrilla style journalism. And I was at a convention on the convention floor, getting ready to do interviews one day, and we have a 9-year-old. He's cosplay Michael. He's a cosplayer, and he's been cosplaying since he was 4. And so when we do the show, we have to have we don't call them babysitters anymore because, well, you ever tell a 9-year-old he needs a babysitter? It's a bad day. So con watcher, whatever. Anyway, we have one at the thing. She comes running up to me and she says, Dad, Sage and Dina need you. They need you right now. And this is like my 4th month doing this. And I've been interviewing pretty much me. I've been interviewing authors, other creative artists, smaller, independent people. And I'm like everybody else. I'm in an environment where I'm surrounded by all of these wonderful people that I've admired my whole life. But I'm not even in that league yet. I'm so like, here's my mic and here's me and my iPhone and we're good. And I get drug over and told that I have to do an interview, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's what I'm here for. And it was Claudia Christian, who is an actress on a show called Babylon 5 that I happen to be like the hugest geek fan of, and they've scheduled an interview without telling me. It was a surprise, completely. Hey, here's your mic and here's your subject. By the way, Claudia, this is Garrett, and I was like, it was the quickest 5-minute interview of the world because I talk so fast. So when you're doing a show like this and you're putting something together and you have so many great guests on and you're talking about some important things and you're doing some important things, every once in a while something just takes you back on set. So that's what I mean. Have you ever had that moment on set where something just hit you?
The stories are always so touching. So there's times where like I'm trying not to like cry in my baked goods, that kind of a thing. But I think most of the surprising stuff for me came after, like when the shows aired, people's responses, the wonderful ones, and of course you always have your internet lovelies who love to tell you all the things that you're doing wrong. So I would have people, and this is a baking show, there would be people who were complaining because I was using butter. It's a baking show. You don't want to use butter? Use a substitute.
Huh.
There was somebody who went off one time because I did blueberry muffins, and she hated blueberry muffins. Okay.
So I hear you. I do, because it is. Audiences are an amazing mixture of wonderful and cruel at times, and like it's a baking show. You use butter. Okay, well, don't use butter. Use something else. But I had to use something, and I like butter. You don't like butter. Okay, but you don't get to pick. We really don't. We don't pick our audience. They pick us, and then they pick on us. And hopefully they come around after a while and they start to enjoy what we're doing. But it is neat. So I'm told that you, during a broadcast, taught somebody during their comedy show how to speak Yiddish in a hurry.
I do not believe that that's true. I don't know what they're talking about. I do silly things, so it's possible.
Okay. She does the internet searches from hell. She'll know things about you that you didn't know.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It was just a fun little bit with a local comedian, and we were having some fun on set. And I love to do voices, so if I'm talking like this because I'm from New York and I'm Jewish, I do it.
I love it. That's great. No, it is. It is. So, like, those are those moments on set where just there's a little spark there, and it reminds you that you're in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing.
Oh yeah, we sing, we dance, we.
That's awesome. I cannot do any of those things, which I think is why they got me the chair, because to warm up before I was on set, I'd had the mic and I'd just kind of be bouncing around, and they'd be like, dude, stop moving. You have no rhythm. Just sit in the chair. We'll bring people to you.
Want to hear the scariest thing I did?
Yes.
Okay, so this was on Chat With Me. So really quick, Chat With Me is my talk show where I sit with somebody because I just feel like everyone has a story. You could meet someone in the grocery store, and if you talk to them long enough, they have a story. So my tagline for Chat With Me is ordinary people with extraordinary stories. So I had a guest on who was a rapper. So I rapped. Very unexpectedly, very surprisingly, but I did it, and I threw out a few bars, and it worked okay. But that was the scariest thing I ever did. I don't usually get nervous on my show, ever, because I just have so much fun with it, and I love people. But I got so nervous when he started doing the beat. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I saying? What am I doing?
I can't actually imagine this, because I am very rarely ever made speechless by almost anything. However, if you put a beat in there, I promise you my brain would seep through I couldn't do it. I don't know how you could do that, because it's so foreign to me. I can do this.
Yes.
But then you add a beat, and I'm like, should I do this? First of all, I have no rhythm, so this is going to get really awkward. Oh, wow. You could just got like 20 questions on a card, a single card. She's got so many questions. I get to pick what I want.
All right, pick them.
I love that. Okay, so, these are just all good in a row. Okay, so it basically all comes down to what is coming up next. What are you baking next? Who are you chatting with next? What's coming up next for Robin?
Well, of course, we're in the middle of the coronavirus. We have not been able to film on set at Wholesale, so the baking show is sort of just on hold until we can get back. But I have some great guests lined up. I'm very excited, and who knows what we'll be baking. It's whatever we're in the mood for that day, or whatever I feel that people like. If there's a holiday coming up and I'm like, ooh, they might not know how to do this gluten-free, let me figure out how to do it and teach them how to do that. For Chat With Me, we tried the virtual thing, and I feed off of people's energy really, really significantly. So I felt that for me, virtually wasn't as great as it was.
I'm right there with you.
Right?
This is so hard.
Yes.
It is. It really is. The whole set here is built around two chairs. It is. I want to meet people. I want to enjoy that company, and so even just media day. This is literally like it's like a cocaine addict snorting salt. Okay.
It's a teaser.
It is. It's just literally, I'm sitting here going, look, it's white. Put it up my nose. I don't care because I'm stuck without anybody in the other chair and I need to do this. And so, but it's so hard to do this virtual thing because you can build a little rapport, but it takes so much longer virtually. It feels like, you and I got 30 minutes here. I do a 50-minute interview. I got 30 minutes to get to know you. It's still not enough time to have a really good be back and forth. So, okay. So, that's a good thing to know. We can tell our Facebook people that. You're getting really annoying over there. I'm just getting talking here, okay? With the flashy card thing. Okay, fine. When can people find baking with me and chatting with me online? Normally, typically.
Well, you can find go back and watch all the old great, fantastic shows that we have. We are on Facebook and on YouTube. So for Facebook, my last name is Hoffmann, so it's Hoffy's Heart. So it's Hoffy's Heart, Bake with Me, and Hoffy's Chat with Me. And on YouTube, it's Bake with Me, gluten free.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool, guys. Check those out. There'll be links because she does when she's not annoying me with a Sharpie, she does links. So yeah, it is. It's so hard in 2020, guys. I tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep chatting with Robin, but first I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the YouTube segment up. So let's go ahead and thank our partners and our friends. I want to thank Rick Shea over at Famous Faces and Funnies and his whole team for sponsoring the show. Josh Bauer at J. Bauer Art for all of the art that's on our set. Space Coast Comics and Hearts Helping Others of Central Florida, and Brevard Film and Talent. And, of course, I want to thank the beautiful Miss Kimberly at Mommy and G Creations for helping us to produce all of our merchandise. Thank you for logging on and tuning in. Be sure to come back to see who we're hanging with next.